Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a moment to think about the struggles you're facing right now. The obstacles, the hard edges, the frustrations, those moments when you feel as though you're being tested beyond what you can handle. But I want you to understand something: today's pain is tomorrow's power. We live in a world that often encourages instant gratification. We want the good, the success, the happiness right now. But life does not work that way. True strength, true power, is not forged in comfort, it's forged in the crucible of adversity. Pain is an inescapable part of the human experience. Whether it's physical, emotional, or psychological, no one is exempt. We will all, at some point, encounter situations where we feel as though we are being tested beyond what we can handle. But here's the key: while pain is inevitable, suffering is not. How we deal with pain, how we respond to it, will ultimately determine whether we merely endure it or whether we allow it to shape us into something stronger. Pain, in its essence, is a message. It is a signal, a form of communication that our body or mind is sending to us. It tells us that something is wrong, that something needs attention. Yet too often, when we face pain, we react in ways that make things worse. We try to avoid it, we ignore it, we push it down or numb it out. We do anything we can to escape it, thinking that by doing so we will be free from its hold. But in reality, this avoidance only deepens our suffering. You see, pain itself is not the problem. It is a natural, unavoidable part of life. It is our resistance to it, our unwillingness to face it, that causes suffering. We have been conditioned to view pain as something to fear, something to eliminate. But this mindset is flawed. The moment we begin to resist pain, we give it more power. We become trapped in a cycle of avoidance and denial, and that only prolongs our struggle. What we need instead is the courage to face our pain directly, to sit with it and understand it. I think of pain as a teacher. It's not there to punish you, it's there to teach you something essential about yourself. Pain forces you to confront your limitations, to acknowledge your vulnerabilities, and to reflect on your life in ways that are uncomfortable but necessary. It invites you to examine your beliefs, your habits, and your relationships. Through pain, we gain clarity about who we are and what we truly want from life. Without it, we remain stagnant, blind to the areas in which we need to grow. Now, I'm not suggesting that we should seek out pain or embrace suffering for the sake of it. No one should go looking for pain, but when it inevitably finds us, we must approach it with the understanding that it has something to teach us. Pain provides us with an opportunity to grow, but only if we are willing to face it head-on. This is where resilience comes in. Resilience is not the absence of pain, it is the capacity to endure pain and emerge stronger on the other side. It is the ability to face adversity, to withstand hardship, and to keep moving forward despite the challenges. Resilience is a skill, not an inherent trait. It is something that can be cultivated through experience, through the very act of enduring and overcoming pain. When you face pain, whether it's the loss of a loved one, the breakdown of a relationship, or a failure in your career, you are given a choice. You can either shrink away from it, allowing it to break you, or you can rise up and let it shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. When you choose to face pain instead of avoid it, something incredible happens. You begin to realize that you are capable of far more than you thought. The more you endure, the more you grow. Pain forces you to develop skills that you didn't know you had the ability to persevere, to adapt, to think critically, to remain calm in the face of chaos. Every time you face pain and push through it, you build a stronger foundation for your future. You become more resilient, more adaptable, and better prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. But this only happens if you choose to learn from pain rather than simply endure it. Enduring pain is not the same as growing through it. If you allow pain to define you in a negative way, if you let it convince you that you are weak, broken, or incapable, you will find yourself trapped in a cycle of suffering that can be hard to break. On the other hand, if you embrace the discomfort of pain and use it as a catalyst for growth, you will emerge from each trial more powerful than before. Pain can either be a source of destruction or a wellspring of transformation. The choice is yours. Ultimately, the key to navigating pain is acceptance. This does not mean resignation or passivity, but rather a willingness to face reality as it is, without denial or avoidance. When you accept pain as a part of life, you free yourself from the need to resist it. You stop fighting against it, and in doing so, you allow yourself to transform through it. Pain becomes a tool for growth, a tool that shapes you into someone who is stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The great paradox of pain is this: it is through suffering that we find strength. It is through hardship that we become capable of achieving great things. Life is full of pain, yes, but it is also full of possibility. And it is through the way we choose to respond to pain that we create the future we desire. So the next time you find yourself in the midst of struggle, remember today's pain is not a sentence, it is an opportunity. An opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to become someone stronger than you were before. Growth is often misunderstood. It is not some smooth, linear journey towards success or happiness. It is jagged, unpredictable, and yes, sometimes painful. But that is the very nature of true growth. It requires challenge, discomfort, and adversity. If you are not struggling, if you are not facing some kind of challenge, you are not growing. And if you are not growing, you are stagnating. Growth, in its most profound sense, comes only when we are forced to stretch beyond what we already know, to confront new difficulties and uncertainties that push us beyond our previous limitations. The challenge of growth is that it requires us to leave behind the familiar, the comfortable, the safe. The familiar gives us security, but it also restricts our potential. If we stay where we are, if we continue to do the same things day after day, we will not grow, we will only maintain the status quo. In order to grow, we must step into the unknown, and the unknown is often uncomfortable. It might feel like failure, it might feel like insecurity, but it is through those very feelings that we learn, adapt, and expand. Consider the process of physical growth. Every time you push your body beyond its current limits, whether that's through exercise, physical labor, or simply challenging your endurance, you experience discomfort. Your muscles break down, you feel pain, and your body demands rest. But it is only through that process of breaking down and rebuilding that your body grows stronger. Without the pain, without the struggle, there is no growth. Your muscles grow, your endurance increases, and your overall strength expands because you were willing to endure the discomfort. It is the same with mental and emotional growth. If you shy away from challenge, you will never grow stronger, more resilient, or more capable. Growth requires that you push yourself beyond what is easy, beyond what feels safe. But growth doesn't just happen automatically. It's not as simple as simply facing challenges and expecting things to improve. No, true growth demands effort, persistence, and reflection. It requires that you engage with the difficulties you face, that you learn from them, and that you apply the lessons they offer you. Growth is a process of adaptation. When you face a challenge, you don't just go through it, you adapt to it. You learn new ways of thinking, new ways of acting, new ways of approaching life. You develop new skills and new strategies that prepare you for future challenges. Every difficulty you face, every problem you solve is a step forward in your personal development. Consider the story of anyone who has achieved significant success in their field. Whether they are an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist, or a scientist, they did not get to where they are by avoiding difficulty. They faced setbacks, failures, and rejections, sometimes repeatedly, but they didn't let those moments define them. They saw those moments as opportunities for growth. They took the pain of failure and used it as fuel for improvement. They reflected on their mistakes, learned from them, and came back stronger. This process is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain stuck in mediocrity. Growth requires a willingness to fail. It requires that you embrace failure as part of the learning process. When you make mistakes, when you experience setbacks, you have two choices. You can either see those moments as confirmation that you are not capable, or you can see them as stepping stones toward improvement. Failure is not an indication that you are not good enough. It is proof that you are trying, and trying even when it's difficult is the key to progress. Every failure is an opportunity to refine your approach, to learn something new, to get closer to success. This mindset, the mindset that views challenges not as roadblocks but as opportunities, is critical for growth. Without this mindset, you are likely to avoid challenges, retreat in the face of discomfort, and remain in a state of stagnation. Growth, by its very nature, requires us to do the opposite, to embrace discomfort, to face adversity, and to recognize that every challenge is an opportunity for transformation. The challenge of growth also requires patience. In a world that often values quick results, it can be easy to become frustrated when progress feels slow. But real growth doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes the willingness to continue putting in the effort, even when you don't see immediate results. Just as a seed takes time to sprout and grow into a tree, the work you put in today may not show results for some time. But if you keep going, if you continue to push yourself, you will eventually see the fruits of your labor. This is where perseverance becomes a key factor in growth. Perseverance is the ability to continue moving forward, even when the path is difficult, when the results are not immediately apparent, and when doubt begins to creep in. Without perseverance, growth would be impossible. Perseverance means continuing the journey, even when it feels like you are making no progress. It means trusting that the effort you put in today will pay off in the future. And it means being willing to face each new challenge with the knowledge that each one is helping you become a stronger, more capable person. Ultimately, growth is not about avoiding difficulties or seeking out an easy path. It's about facing challenges, learning from them, and emerging from them as a more powerful version of yourself. Each challenge you face, each difficulty you encounter, is an opportunity to stretch your limits, expand your abilities, and move closer to the person you are meant to become. Growth is hard, but it is also deeply rewarding. And if you embrace the process, if you learn to find meaning in the struggle, you will not only grow, you will thrive. Pain is an unavoidable aspect of life, but it is also a profound source of meaning. In a world that often seeks comfort and instant gratification, we have become disconnected from the deeper truths that pain offers us. Pain is not just something to be endured or avoided. It is an integral part of the human experience that has the potential to shape our lives in powerful and meaningful ways. It is through pain that we come to understand who we are, what we truly value, and what we are capable of achieving. The key to understanding pain as a source of meaning is recognizing that it forces us to confront life as it is. We can't escape pain, nor should we try. It is only when we accept pain, when we sit with it and reflect upon it, that we begin to understand its deeper purpose. Pain strips away the superficial and forces us to confront the reality of our existence. It reminds us of our vulnerability, our impermanence, and the things that truly matter. Pain challenges us to reevaluate our priorities, to question what we are doing with our lives, and to examine the choices we are making. It acts as a wake-up call, urging us to reflect on the direction in which we are headed and to make adjustments if necessary. For many people, the experience of pain is what sparks personal transformation. It is in the midst of suffering that we begin to ask the hard questions, to search for answers that lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves. Pain has a way of forcing us to look inward, to explore the parts of ourselves that we often try to hide or ignore. It is only when we are truly honest with ourselves, when we acknowledge our vulnerabilities and our struggles, that we can begin to grow. In this sense, pain becomes a guide, helping us to move beyond our comfort zones and into the areas of our lives that need healing and growth. Think of the pain that comes with the loss of a loved one. It's a grief that can feel overwhelming, that seems to tear at the very fabric of our being. But within that pain is the opportunity to gain a deeper appreciation for life itself. We learn not to take time for granted, to cherish our relationships, and to seek out meaning in every moment. Through the pain of loss, we come to understand what truly matters: love, connection, and the fleeting nature of our time on this earth. This realization can drive us to live more intentionally, to pursue the things that truly bring us joy, and to cultivate the relationships that give our lives meaning. The pain of loss may never fully go away, but it can transform us into more compassionate, more present individuals. Similarly, the pain that comes with failure can be one of the greatest sources of meaning and growth. When we fail, when things don't go as planned, it's easy to feel discouraged, defeated, or even worthless. Yet it is in those moments of failure that we learn the most about ourselves. Failure reveals our weaknesses, exposes our flaws, and forces us to confront our fears. But if we are willing to embrace failure as a learning opportunity, it can be an incredibly powerful teacher. Failure pushes us to reflect on what went wrong, to reassess our approach, and to figure out how we can improve. It challenges us to become more resilient, more resourceful, and more determined. Failure, in many ways, is the key to success. It is through failure that we develop the strength and the wisdom necessary to keep moving forward, to try again, and to ultimately achieve our goals. Pain also teaches us about our capacity for resilience. When we face difficult situations, it often feels as though we are at our lowest point, as though we cannot go on. But over time, we discover that we are capable of far more than we ever imagined. The human spirit is incredibly resilient, and pain is the furnace in which our resilience is forged. Every time we overcome a challenge, every time we push through hardship, we build a deeper well of strength within ourselves. Pain, when faced and overcome, becomes a source of power. It teaches us that we can endure, that we can persevere, and that we can rise again after every fall. At its core, pain provides meaning because it brings us closer to our true selves. In the midst of suffering, we are forced to let go of the illusions and distractions that often define our lives. Pain strips away the facade, leaving us with nothing but the truth of who we are. It reveals our true values, our deepest fears, and our greatest desires. In this way, pain serves as a mirror, reflecting back to us the aspects of ourselves that we may not have wanted to face. It allows us to understand ourselves more deeply, to connect with the parts of ourselves that have been buried or neglected, and to come to terms with our flaws and imperfections. And it is through this process of self-understanding that we gain true meaning. Meaning does not come from avoiding pain or running from hardship. It comes from facing those challenges head-on, from using them as opportunities to learn, grow, and become more fully who we are meant to be. Pain, in this sense, is a gift, a difficult, sometimes agonizing gift that enables us to live more authentically and purposefully. When we learn to embrace pain as a source of meaning, we begin to see it not as an enemy, but as a powerful ally on our journey toward self-discovery and transformation. Resilience is often misunderstood as something we either have or we don't. But resilience is not an inherent trait, it is a skill, one that is developed and strengthened through the challenges we face. Resilience is built by continually overcoming adversity, by facing hardship head-on and emerging from it stronger, wiser, and more capable. The more we endure, the more we build our capacity for resilience, and with it we unlock the power to achieve things we never thought possible. When we encounter difficult situations, when we face pain or failure, it is natural to feel discouraged or overwhelmed. It is easy to believe that the struggle will break us, that the weight of the challenges we face is too much to bear. But resilience teaches us a different story. It teaches us that adversity, while painful, is not the end. It is the beginning of something greater. It is through facing hardship that we find our true strength. Each time we rise from the depths of difficulty, we become more capable of handling the next challenge. We learn that we are not defined by the struggles we face, but by how we respond to them. Think of a muscle that grows stronger the more it is exercised. Similarly, resilience grows stronger each time we face difficulty and push through it. When we go through tough times, when we face loss, rejection, or failure, we often feel like we've been broken. But in reality, we are being shaped and forged. Just as steel becomes stronger when it is tempered in fire, we become more resilient when we face the trials of life. Every challenge we overcome is a step toward greater strength, greater wisdom, and greater emotional and mental fortitude. But resilience is not just about enduring hardship. It is about learning from it. It is about taking each setback, each obstacle, and using it as an opportunity for growth. Every difficulty contains within it a lesson, a way for us to improve ourselves, to become more resourceful, to develop better strategies for overcoming challenges in the future. Those who succeed in life are not those who avoid failure, but those who see failure as a necessary part of the process. They embrace it, they learn from it, and they use it to propel themselves forward. This is the essence of resilience, not merely surviving hardship, but thriving because of it. Resilience also gives us the power to envision and create a better future. When we face hardship, it's easy to become consumed by the present moment, by the pain and the struggle. But resilience allows us to look beyond the immediate difficulties, to see the bigger picture. It teaches us that the challenges we face today are not permanent, they are temporary. And while the pain may feel intense in the moment, it is through our ability to endure that we create the conditions for a better tomorrow. Resilience allows us to hold on to hope. to keep moving forward even when the road ahead seems unclear. The more resilient we become, the more we realize that we are capable of achieving things we once thought impossible. We begin to recognize that the limits we once placed on ourselves were not real limits, they were simply barriers created by fear, doubt, or a lack of self-belief. As we push through adversity and overcome challenges, we begin to understand that there is very little we cannot achieve when we refuse to give up, when we persist in the face of difficulty. Resilience gives us the power to break through those perceived limits and accomplish things we never thought we could. Resilience also shapes our relationships and how we interact with others. When we go through hardship and emerge stronger, we develop a deep sense of empathy for others who are facing their own struggles. We understand from our own experience how difficult life can be, and we are better able to support others who are going through their own challenges. This sense of empathy and understanding is one of the most powerful aspects of resilience. It connects us to others in ways that nothing else can. Our struggles give us the capacity to help others through their own, to offer support, encouragement, and understanding that comes from having walked a similar path. Perhaps most importantly, resilience allows us to take control of our own narrative. When we face challenges, we are often tempted to see ourselves as victims, as people who have been wronged by life or circumstances. But resilience teaches us that we are not victims, we are survivors. We are not defined by the pain we experience, but by how we choose to respond to it. Through resilience, we take ownership of our story. We become the authors of our own lives, deciding how we will respond to the adversity we face and what kind of person we will become because of it. In the face of difficulty, we always have a choice. We can allow the challenge to defeat us, to break us, or we can use it as a springboard for growth. Resilience is about making that choice to rise above, to learn, and to keep moving forward. The more resilient we become, the more we recognize that no matter what happens in life, we have the ability to endure and to rise again. The power to shape our destiny lies not in the circumstances we face, but in how we face them. Every hardship is an opportunity to become more resilient, more powerful, and more capable of achieving our dreams. Resilience is not simply about surviving, it is about thriving, and in doing so, it transforms pain into power. Life is an unpredictable journey, and as we navigate its twists and turns, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the challenges we face. The road to success, fulfillment, and growth is often marked by difficulties that seem insurmountable in the moment. But here's the powerful truth: today's pain is not a permanent condition, it is an essential part of the process that leads to tomorrow's power. The difficulties we face today lay the foundation for the strength, wisdom, and resilience we will need to succeed in the future. In its many forms, whether emotional, physical, or psychological, has a unique ability to force us to confront the limitations of our current state. It makes us face reality in a way that is impossible when everything is going smoothly. Pain teaches us what we are truly capable of and what we need to change. It exposes our vulnerabilities and forces us to reassess our lives. While this can feel uncomfortable, even discouraging, it is a crucial step in the process of becoming the person we are meant to be. The challenge is that pain, especially when it feels overwhelming, often leads us to question our worth, our abilities, and even our future. We look at the struggle we are currently enduring and wonder if it will ever end. But pain, if we allow it, has the ability to shape us into something far greater than we were before. It is through adversity that we develop the strength to persevere, the courage to continue, and the wisdom to see beyond our current circumstances. We are often incapable of seeing the full picture when we are in the midst of pain, but every painful moment has the potential to change us for the better, provided we don't let it break us. The first step in transforming today's pain into tomorrow's power is understanding that pain is a natural part of life's journey. It is not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be embraced as part of the process of growth. Just as a seed must break open to sprout into a new life, we too must endure the breaking process in order to emerge stronger. Pain, in this sense, is the catalyst for growth. It challenges us to shed our old ways of thinking, behaving, and reacting. It calls us to evolve, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to step into a new version of ourselves. The power that emerges from pain is not just physical or emotional, it is also mental and spiritual. When we face challenges and persevere through them, we build mental toughness. We learn how to control our emotions, how to stay focused in the face of adversity, and how to keep moving forward when everything inside us wants to stop. This mental fortitude is essential for success in any area of life. Whether we are pursuing a career, building a relationship, or striving for personal growth, the ability to endure pain and use it as fuel for progress is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who fall short. In many ways, pain refines our character. It forces us to ask difficult questions and confront aspects of ourselves that we may have been avoiding. It challenges our belief systems, exposes our weaknesses, and prompts us to reconsider the direction we are heading. And while this can feel uncomfortable, it is essential for our evolution. It is only when we are pushed out of our comfort zones that we are able to discover the depths of our potential. Pain has a way of breaking down our walls, of stripping us of our illusions, and revealing the truth of who we are. This truth is what empowers us to move forward with purpose, clarity, and determination. As we navigate pain, it's crucial to remember that it is not permanent. No matter how intense the pain may feel in the moment, it will eventually pass. And when it does, we will be left with the strength we have gained from enduring it. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, our resilience, determination, and wisdom grow stronger through facing life's challenges head-on. Pain is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of a new chapter. Every time we overcome hardship, we gain new insights, new strengths, and a renewed sense of purpose. Additionally, pain fosters empathy and understanding. When we experience suffering, we become more attuned to the struggles of others. We learn to see beyond our own difficulties and recognize the pain that others are enduring. This empathy allows us to connect with people on a deeper level, to offer support, and to share our strength with those who need it. The power that comes from pain is not just personal, it is also collective. When we transform our pain into power, we become better equipped to help others do the same. We inspire and uplift those around us, creating a ripple effect of growth, strength, and healing. Perhaps most importantly, the pain we experience today provides us with the tools we need to achieve our future goals. It shapes us into the person we need to become in order to accomplish our dreams. Without struggle, without difficulty, we would never develop the skills, the mindset, or the resilience needed to succeed. Pain forces us to be creative, to think critically, and to develop strategies for overcoming obstacles. It teaches us perseverance, patience, and adaptability. These are the qualities that allow us to continue striving toward our goals, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. When we look back on the pain we have endured, we often realize that it was the very thing that propelled us forward. What once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle becomes in hindsight a stepping stone toward our success. Today's pain, when approached with the right mindset, becomes tomorrow's power. It is through enduring the challenges we face that we develop the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience to create the future we desire. Each struggle, each hardship is an opportunity to become more powerful than we were before. So while the pain of today may feel overwhelming, it is not the end, it is simply the beginning of the power that is waiting to emerge within us. In conclusion, today's pain is not a burden to carry in vain, it is a crucible that shapes us into more powerful, resilient, and capable versions of ourselves. Every challenge, every moment of suffering is an opportunity for growth, a chance to refine our strength, learn valuable lessons, and push beyond the limits we once thought defined us. Pain teaches us the depth of our potential and prepares us for the future we are meant to create. It is through enduring hardship that we develop the fortitude to face greater challenges, the wisdom to navigate life's complexities, and the compassion to help others along the way. When we embrace pain as a transformative force, rather than something to fear or avoid, we open the door to new possibilities. Each trial we face today plants the seeds for the power we will wield tomorrow. It is not the absence of pain that determines our success, but our ability to rise above it, to learn from it, and to use it as a stepping stone on our journey toward greater achievements. Remember, the greatest transformations come from the hardest trials, and the person you are becoming is forged in the fire of adversity. So embrace the pain, trust in the process, and know that the power it brings will not only shape your future, but empower you to achieve the extraordinary.